In today's session of Divorce Court, Luther Smith says when he caught his wife Kathy having sex with another woman, the marriage was over.
They was kissing and touching and,
So you just told him to stop?
I told him, this ain't the place to do this. We've got kids here, and you shouldn't be doing this anyway. You're my wife.
Are you a lesbian?
Yes.
And Tammy is her lover?
Tammy is her tool is Tommy, yes.
Excuse me?
Hello? Wake up.
He took me and her by the shoulders and said, if I catch you guys again, I'll hunt you both down and I will kill you.
I did not.
Now Kathy Smith and her lover Tammy square off with Luther Smith in today's session of Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Kathy Smith versus Luther Smith. And Mr. Smith, I'm told that after 15 years of marriage, you're ready to end it. Why?
Well, Your Honor, after 15 years of marriage, my wife, Kathy, decided that being gay was more important than being a wife and a mother.
What do you mean by being gay? Being happy? What are you talking about?
Being a lesbian.
I have to dispute that, Your Honor.
And she's neglected her children as a result of that?
Yes, she has, Your Honor.
What
No, I
drew
haven't.
her to that conclusion?
What drew me to that conclusion?
No, you said she's decided that that's better than being a wife and mother.
Well,
what
Your Honor,
happened? How did she get there?
June 21st, 1998, she told me that she didn't want to be with me anymore, that she was going to move over to her mother's to reflect on what she was doing. Well, I came home the following Wednesday, and the children told me, Dad, Mom did not move in with Granny. Mom moved in with Tammy.
The children told you this?
Yes.
And you say you came home. Where were you?
I was at work.
And Tammy is her lover?
Tammy is her tool is Tommy, yes.
Tammy is her what?
Tool is Tommy?
Toolless Tommy. Meaning she doesn't have a tool like you.
That's right.
Oh. How did you get to this point, Mrs. Smith?
We got to this point because my husband decided that we needed to swing in our marriage. Several years.
So he introduced you to the swing?
Yes, ma'am, he did. I have a tattoo.
Tell me about that.
I have a tattoo on my back that has.
And what does it say?
It has his name in it and his best friend's name in it. And
well, is his best friend a woman or a man?
It is a man.
So he decided that you were supposed to swing with two men. You missed it.
And I swung with the best friend's wife also.
Oh, so it was
And
a
I was
real
not there.
party.
It wasn't a swing. Normally, a swing.
What you call that one?
What do you call that one? That's a solo. That ain't no swing.
He knew about the arrangements, though, when I was
No,
with
I
the
did not.
woman.
I did not even
No, you're
participate.
saying that your husband introduced you to the idea of other partners in your
Yes.
relationship. Did you start your wife into the other parties being involved in your
did not.
marriage?
Yes,
No, I did not, Your
How
Honor.
did that begin?
How did that begin?
Yes.
Well, one night, my ex-friend and I went over to the strip club, and we came back, and I was drunk, and I passed out on the floor and woke up to them making out on the floor.
And then did you join them?
No, I did not.
So
That's not
what
my
did you
cup
do
of tea.
about it?
He let it go, Your Honor.
No,
What
I
do you
didn't
mean?
let it go.
What did you do, Mr. Smith?
I told her to stop. I asked her constantly to stop. And
What do
she
you mean constantly?
went-
I'm talking about at that moment.
At
you
that
wake
moment-
up out of a drunk stupor, you find out that your friend and your wife are making love together, and you say, stop?
Well,
Is that what you're telling me?
They wasn't in the actual act. They was sort of like making out. They was kissing and touching and,
So you just told them to stop?
I told them, this ain't the place to do this. We've got kids here, and you shouldn't be doing this anyway. You're my wife.
So was it at the wrong place and the fact that the children were home, or was it the act itself that was wrong for you?
It's the act itself. She's never been honest or true throughout the whole marriage. She cheated on me before with somebody else prior to my
Let me
ex-friend.
ask you this. What made her so comfortable to start kissing, hugging, and petting, and rubbing, and touching on your friend in your house with you laying there?
Well, I guess she felt comfortable because I was asleep. But on the other hand, I did not condone it. I did not ask her to do it.
So you never set her up in a situation like that?
No, only a fool would
guess
set somebody up in a situation like
Yes,
Well,
that.
there's been plenty of
did.
fools around, because I've heard stories of it before.
Yes,
Mrs.
he
Smith?
has, Your Honor.
What happened? How did he do it?
He started it with his friend, with the best
The
friend.
same friend that you was kissing, hugging,
Yes.
rubbing, and touching?
Yes, Your Honor.
But it was on a different night, under different circumstances? What?
No, this was the same incident. We had discussed it, and I found this gentleman attractive. And he said, well, if you want to have sex with him, go right ahead.
That's what your husband said?
Yes, Your Honor, he did.
No, Your Honor,
Was
I did
he
not.
drunk?
No, he was quite sober.
So he wasn't the fool that he claims?
No, he was not.
No,
And
Your
you
Honor.
thought it was okay because he said so?
No, I didn't think it was okay. I married quite young. I was 17 when I met this gentleman.
But you were already married. The point is you were still
I had
married.
to marry this man. I did not love this man from beginning. I was
Oh.
pregnant.
So you stayed 15 years with somebody that you don't
My grandmother
love.
forced me to marry him because I was pregnant.
Surprise!
Yes, Your Honor. This
Your
is the
grandmother
way.
forced you to marry him, but all the time you were looking elsewhere. Is that what you're telling me?
So was he.
I
And
was
you
not
found
looking
somebody that was
elsewhere.
much more attractive to you than your husband.
Yes.
But how many years had you been married by then?
About 5.
So even though your grandmother made you marry him, let's assume that that's true, 5 years later, you're into it. You're still married. You're
I
still
was-
not satisfied, and you
I was
still
young.
can't be a wife?
No, I wasn't.
Well,
I
you're
didn't
still
know what
young.
else to do. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know where else to turn.
But you were still searching for somebody else.
Yes. Someone that would love me for me and not make me feel cheap and used.
Well, you thought having sex with his friend, who's
Because
supposed to be
he-
his friend, would make you feel like you were $1 million?
No.
That makes you
No,
feel real
ma'am.
cheap. It's the
That
friend.
makes you feel like
No,
a
ma'am.
doormat.
Oh. So now somebody's sitting over there. Who's that?
I'm the girlfriend.
That's Tulis Tommy.
Come up. What's your name? And I know it's not what he said.
My name's Tammy Curtis, and I met this gentleman before I met her.
And
You did not.
Hold
You're
on, Mr.
full
Smith.
of it.
You're full of it.
I
We
met
both
you.
worked at
You
the same time.
You're
We were both
friggin'
hired at...
crazy, Mr. Smith.
I'm sorry, Tulis Tommy.
Sorry, buckwheat.
All
I
right,
got you,
all
buckwheat.
right, that's enough of the name calling. That's not what we're here.
Everything he's saying is not right.
Okay, well, you tell me what's right from your
I
perspective.
worked for a detail shop. I'd worked there, and then these two come in one day. Me and her had never talked, or him and I. I guess he got a job there. Well, he started work a couple weeks before she did. And he was coming into my work of business and telling me about his wife and how she was bisexual and how they was looking for a bisexual partner to move in with them so they can
And be
have
a part of our-
beautiful
be a
family.
part of
And
our
all the time he
family.
knew that you were a
No.
lesbian? Are you a lesbian?
Yes.
And Mr. Smith knew that?
Yeah.
And so he approached you and made a pass at you to
Yes.
be a part of his family?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you move in with them?
Yes, I've moved with about all of them, yes.
And how long did you stay with them?
I've known these people 3 years.
And how long did you live with them?
But most of the time I've known them.
So you moved in like shortly after you met?
After me and her met, yes, ma'am.
No.
And with his blessings?
With his blessings, he put us together.
So you became part of the family as Mr. Smith wished?
Exactly.
When divorce court returns, Kathy testifies about the day she says Luther threatened her life.
He took me and her by the shoulders and said, if I catch you guys again, I'll hunt you both down and I will kill you.
I did not.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Kathy Smith, who left her husband Luther for another woman because she says she never loved him.
So
not,
then
Your
what
Honor.
happened? The two of you decided that he wasn't making this happen? That,
I didn't want to be with him. I
Oh.
mean, you know.
so
and
you
then-
only wanted Mrs. Smith?
Well, no,
Yes,
it
she
didn't
did, Your
start
Honor.
off at that at all.
We're not
home
talking about
record.
starting. Where did it progress to? I'm
It-
past
it-
the start.
Well, as it progressed down along the line, we started having feelings for each other, and we both wanted to out of that situation.
So you wanted to leave him out, and that's what happened.
Yes.
And you left and went to live with Mrs. Curtis?
Yes,
with Miss
Your Honor,
Curtis?
I did.
And
All
she
right.
abandoned her
Anything else
children,
you
Your
want to
Honor.
add, Miss Curtis?
No.
And the
this-
rest is history. The two of you are still together, right?
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
ma'am.
All
She
right.
deserted her
Have a
children.
seat. Now, what happened in terms of the children as a result of all of
She
this?
left them, Your Honor.
Left the children.
She abandoned them and left them with me.
I did not abandon
left them.
I
I've got proof right
What do you
here.
mean by that?
I moved out. You got the letter?
I got all the
What
letters.
you wrote her in a letter
Yeah, I wrote him a letter
and told him what you were doing?
that I was moving out. Yes.
And you
we
asked me to
thought
move
we
back
would
home
work
because
things
Tammy
out.
wouldn't support you.
Excuse me?
Hello? Wake up.
So what happened, Mr. Smith?
So I got me an apartment and moved approximately 15 miles away because I could not stand seeing that situation and my children going through that.
Did you
That
take
was-
the children with you?
No, ma'am, I left them behind.
Why didn't you take the children since you couldn't stand it?
Because I was unable to take care of them at that time because I didn't have a place to live.
So why do you say that she abandoned them? You left and didn't take the children.
Thank you,
She
Your
left
Honor.
and didn't take the children. What's the
I
difference?
didn't have a place for them either.
The two of you sound like you were just more interested in yourselves, and everybody forgot about these
She's
poor
always
children.
been interested in herself, Your Honor.
Both of you forgot about these children.
No, I did not, Your Honor. The whole time I was gone, I gave her $300 a month child support for 5 months.
But you didn't
She's
like
been
the
gone since
situation, you said, and it wasn't good for them, so why didn't you take them with you? You told
Because
me you
where
got
I
an
went was a
apartment,
one-bedroom apartment.
and you didn't think the children could sleep in the bed, and you sleep on the couch? Wasn't enough room on the floor?
No, he put he put them on the floor when they would go and see him on
I
the
picked
But
weekend.
what
up
are all
every
those letters?
weekend.
What is all that? Shall I read it?
The point of this one is I was leading up to this. When Sam had
Taking you
his
too long.
surgery,
Let me read them. Maybe I can lead to myself.
well, when Sam had his surgery on December 1st, she told me that Tammy would not support her and wouldn't work. They was living off the $300 a month that I gave them.
Is that your son?
Tammy, no.
You said surgery. Was that
My
your
son, yes.
Okay.
So during his surgery, she's telling me, we went outside to have a cigarette, and she started crying and said, Lou, I made a mistake. I want you to move back home. And I even got on my knees and asked her to remarry me, and she accepted. And then she stayed until the 5th of December at my apartment with my 2 children. When I moved back home on December 6th, and on December 7th, my daughter, she called me at work, frantic, crying, Dad, Mom's left us. And I came immediately home from work early.
Now, that's what these letters are saying. This letter says very clearly, Ms. Smith, I'm only thinking of myself.
Thank you, Your Honor. She's
And
always
you
thought of
repeated
herself.
it 3 times. I have to think of myself. I'm out of here. You take care of the kids.
She's always thought of herself.
You wrote it in your handwriting.
I sure did.
So you left your children just for your own personal gratification.
After he moved in, he took me and her by the shoulders and said, if I catch you guys again, I'll hunt you both down and I will kill you.
I did not.
In the same breath,
I did
Your
not.
Honor, he told me that this lady that he was seeing was pregnant.
Now,
That
wait a
is
minute.
the biggest factor.
Why would he say that if I catch you again, I'm going to kill you? If you're
Because
telling me,
she
hold
was
on a
still
second,
living
Miss
in the
Smith.
home.
But
You
you're
asked
telling
her to
me,
leave the home.
Mr.
You hadn't
Smith,
took off the
I am
leash.
talking.
Sorry.
You told me that he was in agreement with this relationship. So why now does he want to kill you?
I don't know, Your Honor,
Oh,
but
it doesn't
he
make
did,
sense to
he
me
did
either.
tell me that.
But the
Me and
issue
her
is,
both
you
that.
wrote a letter saying to him, I have to think of myself. One day the kids will understand. Take care of the kids. I'm out of here.
She's always thought of herself, Your Honor.
Again, she's telling you she's thinking of herself and don't want you
Yes.
to brainwash the kids and talk about it too bad. One day you'll understand. The problem is the children didn't understand.
Yeah, how can
5
they
months
understand if their
without
mom's
their
a
mother?
lesbian?
Well, they probably won't have a problem understanding that.
They don't have a
But
problem with
5
that.
They do
months
have a
without-
problem. Sarissa failed 8th grade last year.
I talked to my daughter on the phone.
Yeah, that's why she
doesn't
calls you
have
her
a
dad's egg
problem.
donor, right?
She doesn't have a problem.
She don't have a mother. She has an egg donor. That's what
You know
she told
what?
me.
Let me understand you. I'm sure your children are having difficulty dealing with this,
Just
but
like any children are.
more importantly, you're not going to convince this court that after leaving your children for 5 months, 5 months is the first communication between you and them, that didn't hurt them. Of course it affected them.
Yes, ma'am, it did.
And all
I
of a
don't
sudden your
dispute
mother
that.
leaves you. I don't care why she leaves.
I don't dispute
care
that at all.
how legitimate it is, how important it is.
And I also
And I
Hold on a
see him
second.
every weekend, Your Honor.
I am talking.
Sorry.
It has impact on those children.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what kind of support has been provided? What is the issue here?
I'm seeking child support from December of 1998 when she left them. She hasn't helped me at all with them since.
Yes,
I've been
Your
taking
Honor,
care
I
of them
have.
on my own, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I have to say something about
No, you don't have to say anything about that.
Yes, Your Honor.
She
we
has
have.
not gave me any
He
child
has
support
What
at
are
all.
you doing? What are you doing in terms of supporting the children?
He called me when I was on my job several times, needing money, no problem. We'd go down, take money. Food, no problem. Our roommate.
After he called you?
Yeah,
And how
no
many times have
problem.
you done that?
Several times.
And have you done it on a regular basis?
She brought them school supplies, Your Honor. That was it.
School supplies.
And
I bought
$20 for the kids.
clothes. We've gotten. I took $50 in school or food down to them.
Since December of '98?
You name it. I've come and got my children, taken my children out, spent
How much
money
have
on
you
my
sent
children.
those children regularly? Sent to Mr. Smith for support
I
of your
haven't
children
sent him
regularly?
anything regularly.
These letters constantly said you were thinking of yourself. And I think that is exactly what has happened in this relationship. Both of you have thought more of yourselves than what effect it would have on your children. You're just so busy going into self-gratification and wanting to, have fun with your body, disrespecting yourselves and your husband, the marriage vows, and forgetting about the effect on these children. That's not what marriage is. After 15 years, okay, if you want to run off with somebody else, nobody can stop you. But you should think enough of your children and not just abandon and leave them and not have any communication from them.
Your Honor.
All right, I'm finished with your testimony. I'm talking now.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict.
That's your lives that you destroyed. Do what you want to do with it. But don't destroy these children's lives. And that's what you're doing now by the lack of emotional support and the lack of financial support.
And an update on the case of Terry Bennett versus Jason Bennett.
What did you see going on?
Your Honor, I saw her getting out of the bed.
What did she have on?
Nothing.
She couldn't have possibly seen that.
Why?
She must have been hallucinating.
Divorce Court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce Court is back in the case of Luther Smith, who says after 15 years of marriage, his wife Kathy left him and their children for another woman.
It's just sad to know that two people can become parents. Now, yes, you said I was a child at 17 when I married him, but you've grown up now. That excuse is no longer there. Mrs. Smith, I am not convinced that you didn't encourage the relationship. And you played with fire and you got burned and it turned around on you and you didn't expect it to turn into what it did. You probably thought it was, again, self-gratification, having fun, getting a little pleasure and enjoyment, and unfortunately, your wife decided to fall in love with Miss Curtis. But in any event, that's your lives that you destroyed. Do what you want to do with it. But don't destroy these children's lives. And that's what you're doing now by the lack of emotional support and the lack of financial support. Your children need support. And the fact that you're the mother does not excuse you no more than it would excuse Mr. Smith if you had the children. And with that, I don't believe that it's how many children?
Two.
2 children. $300 per month for child support is unreasonable. I probably would have ordered more, but Mr. Smith says all I want is $300. And I don't think it's an unreasonable sum. The children need to be provided for. And the fact that you're the mother is no excuse.
I don't have a problem with that,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
that's the court's order. $300 per month for child support, and I can't make it retroactive to December because you didn't ask for it. You have to come into court and ask for support. And therefore, I have to deny your request for retroactivity. But it is $300 per month, payable on, what's today's date? The 15th day of each month, starting this month. That's the court's order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All rise. Parties may leave the courtroom.
Come on back.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Terry Bennett versus Jason Bennett.
What's her necklace doing around another woman's neck?
Your Honor, I misplaced it.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Terry Bennett said that before she and her husband Jason got married, they were best friends. But after the wedding, Jason turned into a liar and a cheat.
What did you see going on?
Your Honor, I saw her getting out of the bed.
What did she have on?
Nothing.
She couldn't have possibly seen that.
Why?
She must have been hallucinating.
Oh, I wasn't born yesterday, and I'm not that stupid.
I'm just telling you the actual and factual.
You should have told me how the game was being played.
We had no bondage there.
Did you just hear him say no bond? This is the
That's
point.
what he said.
This is the point that I'm trying to make.
Terry said Jason gave her diamond necklace to his girlfriend, and she wanted it back.
What's her necklace doing around another woman's neck?
Your Honor, I misplaced it.
Who do you think you're talking to?
The judge ordered Jason to return the necklace or pay Terry $1,000 for it. After Jason returned the necklace to Terry, he jumped right back into the dating game. and is happy to be a single man dating lots of women. Terry says her marriage to Jason left her unable to trust men and says she is in no hurry to start dating anytime soon.
Yes, he encouraged us, yes, to have a swinging lifestyle.
I never ever swung with Kathy. Kathy was a solo artist. Everything Kathy did was for the good of Kathy. She's always thought of herself.
He's jealous because I got his wife. Happens. Come on.